You know, politics are in full swing, and so too is our fact-checking of political commercials. Last night, we took apart an attack ad aimed at Republican Joe Kent. He's trying to win Washington's 3rd congressional district seat. Tonight, we're going to take a look at an attack ad aimed at the incumbent in that seat, Congresswoman Gluesenkamp Perez, a Democrat. Is the ad accurate? We'll find out. It's our big story tonight. The race for the 3rd seat is definitely intense and it's important. Here's a look at the map of the district. It's the dark area that covers southwest Washington. It goes north past Centralia and then over west all the way to the coast. And according to the respected Cook Political Report, the race is a toss-up. This graphic shows us that the district has voted Republican more than it's voted Democrat in the past. Still, in that last election, moderate Democrat Gluesenkamp Perez beat the conservative Republican Joe Kent by 2,600 votes. Here's why this matters nationally. Republicans control the House of Representatives, but just barely. It's 221 members for Republicans and 214 for Democrats. Now, if Democrats can achieve a net gain of just 4 seats, they'll take control of the House. That's a huge deal when it comes to the balance of power on a national basis. So, the 3rd district seat, this matchup is very important, not just for voters in the district, but also nationally. And that's why the National Republican Congressional Committee is pouring money into the race to try to take that seat back. Now, let's take a look at a recent attack ad that's aimed at Perez, paid for by that group, the National Republican Campaign Committee. They're the national group trying to elect more Republicans to the U.S. House. Here we go.
Gluesenkamp Perez has ignored our border crisis.
Listen, nobody stays awake at night worrying about the southern border.
Okay, this ad has been playing almost nonstop, and that's the opening salvo. The attack ad will build on that theme, trying to convince you that Gluesenkamp Perez is out of touch with the border issues and the drug crisis on our streets. Now, I tracked down that clip, and it's taken way out of context. So here it is on the YouTube version of the show Pod Save America, where it aired. It was recorded after Perez won her election to Congress. The host was asking how she did it in such a Republican district. Listen to this entire comment now.
Listen, nobody stays awake at night worrying about the southern border. That's just not. People stay awake at night worrying that their kid is going to relapse, or that, someone's going to drop out of school, or they're going to lose their house.
Okay, that was the whole comment. Now, when you hear the entire comment, it kind of changes the meaning, doesn't it? The ad left out important context. When we add back the context, it shows that Perez is convinced people care more about what's happening with their own family and in their own community than the national talking points being served up about the southern border. So I'm going to call that clip in the ad misleading.
Perez isn't worried. That's where the flood of fentanyl is coming from, and it's killing our kids.
Okay, well, we don't need to fact check that source. I believe all of those claims. They're accurate. Fentanyl is awful. Lots and lots of it's coming from Mexico. I did fact check it, but yeah, it's accurate. It's certainly killing our kids. But I've not found any statements from Perez saying that she's not worried about drugs coming into our communities, just the opposite. I found many where she said she is, and very concerned. Interestingly, by the way, this past February, she co-sponsored a bill that would tighten security at the border and require immigration officers to immediately detain and expel what they called inadmissible aliens. Okay, let's see a bit more of the ad.
But Perez sleeps easy in D.C., while overdoses here skyrocket.
Listen, nobody stays awake at night worrying about the southern border.
Gluesenkamp Perez won't fix this. She's too busy denying it.
This is an age-old sleight of hand. You start with a premise that's not accurate, and then you build on your premise. They're saying, well, if she says that no one stays awake worrying about the border, she must not care about drugs or about people overdosing and dying on our streets. Now, again, I have found many comments from Perez that she is deeply concerned about the impact fentanyl and other drugs are having on her community and our country. So I'm rating that entire statement as false. In fact, on her campaign site, it says that she believes in fighting the drug crisis through increased border security, stricter punishments for sale and possession, along with expanded access to treatment and rehab and job opportunities. So, all in all, I gotta say, Republican Congressional Campaign Committee, this is a very misleading ad. You should really try harder next time to find some legit policy that she believes in and you think is wrong. Otherwise, you're going to continue to look pretty darn silly trying to sell obvious falsehoods to the public. So what do you at home think about that? What do you think about this ad? Do you believe it when you first saw it, or did you learn anything tonight? Email us and let us know, will you? The address is thestory@kgw.com, or call and leave a voicemail. The number is 503-226-5090.